Hello everybody, BrioS here, and I am finally in the public test session to take a look at the skill tree for myself. If you want a run through of the skill tree, there are some videos online by great YouTubers. These include people like Snuggles Time, Oldbot10025, and of course Molten Metal. By the way, Snuggles, thanks so much for the shout out. We really appreciate it. This video actually has two parts, by the way. The first part is going to be a comparison video between the skill tree and the live. For that, I'll be using my Bushwacker X1 to compare the skills and the quirks between these two systems. Second part will be using a fresh purchase. For that, I'll use an atlas and how your skills can affect a brand new purchase. So let's get down to it. For the first one, I'm going to focus on my Bushwacker X1. Before I even get into the skills, you want to see what the mech is supposed to do. I call that the design intent. For the design intent of my Bushwacker, the way I play it, I want to support the heavies and assaults as they go in, give them support fire, and when the enemy is going down, you take point, armor share, and wreck them. So yeah, that's how you play this mech. This particular build is nicknamed the BrioS special by OBCS. And for its weapon systems, there are two LB10Xs, that's the main weapon system, and the large laser. This is a secondary weapon. I'm not going to focus on large laser at all, I will just focus on the LBs. For skills, I have already spent skill points on this, as you can see. I love the fact you can scroll out. Being a single weapon system, it makes it really easy. So yeah, skill tree does encourage boating. I wonder how PGI will address this. But as you can see, I have spent a lot on LB, nothing on everything else, because I have nothing else. Defensively, I have spent a lot of skill points on defensive quirks, or rather should I call them defensive skills, mainly because I want armor hardening and skeletal density. That's for improved armor and structure quirks. Whole bunch of upper and lower chassis skills because there's like speed tweak and torso turning, so a bit of mobility. Mediums really need that in my opinion. For the old quick ignition, all this, I just chose some because it runs pretty cool. I don't need so much cool run and stuff like that. But there is magazine capacity, that's what I really wanted, for more ammunition. I love Infotech and Mech Warrior, so I've gotten quite a bit of Infotech skills here, that's under sensors. And auxiliary will always suffer in the new skill tree, so I only have a few points left, I only got 3. So if you take a look at the skills, yep, there's a whole bunch. So let's take a look at the pullout here. And wow, that's really a lot. So let's take a look at it versus the live server right now. So I have put together a summary of the Bushwacker X1 with quirks and modules that I typically use in the live server versus the skills I have bought under PTS. And when people compare these two, they always say, oh wow, quirks are so little, skills are so many, wow, such a big improvement, it's such a beast, it's wow, dot dot dot. But people always forget modules and things I did not put down like skills. For example, in the live server, you have speed tweak, you have also things like cool run, and even the extra module from mastery. But as far as I know, under skill tree, you do not have a mastery slot, as in module slot. So that's because you have no mastery. So let's take a quick look at a few things of note rather. For in the live server, we only have a plus 10 CT for armor, but in the skill tree I bought, where is it? Armor bonus, yep. That's armor hardening plus 16%. So my CT starts at a baseline of the same, plus 10. But in the skill tree, it is up to 22. And the legs from 7, it's up to plus 13. And don't forget, I have armor density, so that's even more structure. So under skill tree, it is notably more tanky. But I got to admit, it's a bit more focused in a live server. You really focus on LB and a few other skills here, rather. But in the skill tree, it is more fragmented with a bit of everything. Got a bit of radar depth, a bit of target info gathering, 360 target retention. So in summary, the live server is a lot more focused on just a few abilities. But under skill tree in the PTS, it is definitely more fragmented. But you do get a bit more than usual overall if you ask me. So yes, you make more of a beast of a mech. So this is the Bushwacker X1. Okay, so here I have a brand new purchase. I just bought myself a Boar's head. Yep, that's the Atlas Hero. And let's look at the design intent as I look at the loadout. The design intent of this mech is to go in, soak the damage, hold locks for the enemy, and basically that's the primary purpose. Secondary purpose is to wreck them at short range. Most important, I shouldn't shut down. Shutting down is death for an Atlas. So as you can see, I got small pulse lasers, an AC-20, and an SRM-6. Even a command console to increase the targeting time, because I do call out targets if you know me well enough. So let's get down to the skills. Based on my design intent, I want defensive. Lots and lots of defensive. So I'm gonna max out on this. I am going to avoid fall damage as far as possible. So getting the skeletal density, yes, that's the word. Armor hardening and stuff like that. There it is. I even have AMS, so I am going to get AMS overload. One thing I noticed, if you keep clicking and you accidentally click XP, this is a brand new mech by the way, there is no XP. There it is, I am not able to apply changes. So you gotta be careful when you do that. So back to this, defensively maxed out. Lots of armor and structure right now. And upper chases, I want to twist my torso really well and fast. That's the torso speed. That's so I can spread the damage across my upper torso. That is the job of a tank. So let's take a look at all this. I see torso speed there, I'm heading for that. Torso speed is also at the bottom. So I have got that too. There it is. Is there any more torso speed? I have got that too. And that's it. One more here. I'm too lazy to spend 4 skill points for that. Let's see if I have enough for that later. So let's go on. Lower chases, I'll come to that later. I don't mind going slow. Remember, I don't want to shut down, so I'm going to get some mech operation once. So quick ignition to start up after I shut down. Also some of these. Cool run. Hill climb is surprisingly useful actually for assaults. Unless you get stuck on little rocks. Quick ignition because that's important. Heat retention, more of that. And magazine capacity for my AC-20. So once in a while, you have to check whether you accidentally click on XP if this is a brand new mech, because I only have GXP. So I think that's good enough, I suppose. A bit of heat containment, quick ignition, that is good enough for now. So I've already spent 44 points. As I mentioned earlier, part of the design intent is to hold locks for the enemy, rather for the friends on the enemy. So let's get all these. Target info gathering, radar depth, always useful. Radar deprivation, target info, seismic, the works. Target decay is useful. There it is. There you are. And yeah, that will do for now. Let's not max out. Auxiliary, if I have points, I will spend on it. But let's spend on my weapons now. My main weapon is my AC-20. I want the weapon to fire and hit the enemy fast. So let's get all the way down to velocity. Cooldown is always useful. So let's get all the cooldowns. There, done. Next up are my small pulse lasers, which are under pulse laser. Range would be useful. So getting 5 skill points of range will give me 10%. And I don't want to have cooldown actually, because I will overheat. I just need to take damage, not dish it out. So let's shift down this a bit. Should I go this way or that way? Because I'm aiming for this. Oh, I guess this will do. So that's a bit of cooldown, but mainly heat. So I don't want to overheat too much. I am left with 12 points. Yep, that's it. SRMs will not need it. So I have not spent on lower chases, so let's look at lower chases. What I want in lower chases is speed tweak. Oh, speed tweak is useful. So let's head down straight to speed tweak. So there we are. Kinetic burst useful, but considering my Atlas is slow, I don't really need it. I just need a bit of speed to get to the enemy. So I'm left with 3 more points. And yeah, I guess that'll be all. So, what do you reckon I should spend my last 3 points on? Weapons are okay, sensors are pretty much okay, auxiliary is useful, but let's leave it as that. Maybe just get a few more lower chases for a bit more speed. So yeah, let's get turn rate. Turn rate and kinetic burst is useful. So that's it. So I have spent 91 skill points. Let's apply changes for a brand new mech that is 136,500 XP, 9.1 million. And that's in C-bills, of course. Peanuts, because I have 2 billion C-bills. So that is my brand new Atlas boss head, fully skilled out. And let's take a look at the mech stats. Wrong button, of course. And there we are. So as you can see, there are lots and lots of skills on this mech. Let's point out a few here. Offensively, you have velocity at 20%. That's pretty fast. Cooldown at 5%. Pulse range 10. Cooldown only 2% for the pulses. But more importantly, let's look at the armor and structure quirks. So, skills rather. The CT is plus 31. Right torso 21. These are pretty darn tough. You can read it for yourself. Lots of structure. Side torsos 21. CT 31. That's the most important. Speed retention is 20%. So I have a bit of speed when I'm legged, which is not likely to happen, I suppose. I will probably be dead by then. Some seismic. And where is the armor? Oh, the armor is here. So as you can see, I have armor skills, 8 bonus, 6 on the torso, 8 on the legs, 8 on the arms. So wow, that's really a lot of skills. So that is my boss head. So here's a summary of the boss head that I've put together for this video, along with the skills that I have purchased. If we compare this to the live server, in the PTS, I was able to get defensive skills. So for its primary role as a tank, in my opinion, is going to be a lot more tanky and is superior by far. That's because it has additional 20% structure and 10% armor. So for instance, the structure CT has 31 points with additional 20%. Wow, on a 100 tonner, good luck shooting it and taking it down. As mentioned in the Bushwacker earlier, previously in a live server, we can focus on only a few skills in that sense because of modules. But now with skill points for this particular build, I have spread out the skills quite a bit. So I was able to get things like AC velocity, even AMS for instance, hill climb, speed retention, seismic, target decay, 360 target retention. So it has a whole bunch of skills, upping it in many areas. In addition to that, I was able to get the acceleration up to 95%, deceleration up to plus 65, and a turn rate of plus 42. So in summary, in my humble opinion, with the skill tree builds like this for the boss hit, the tanky, soaking damage kind of build, it's going to be far superior to the skills that you are able to put on the live server boss hit. So I do hope you like this video, and if you see me on the battlefield, this is BrioS. Do say hi, I'm always friendly. And I hope to catch you on the battlefield.